Time to paint Cosmos flowers. For my sketch, I only outlined some flowers and I am wetting the background with water while leaving out the flower shapes. Please check the link below for the reference photo. That same link is the one that you can use to share your artwork too. Loaded my brush with manganese blue and ultramarine. I also have a puddle of pure ultramarine on my palette. I won't worry about the background for now, but I am being careful not to paint inside the flower shapes. As I reach the bottom of the paper, I will add dark brown to the mixture. My paper is buckling, but no problem with that. I'll just let the brush sip the excess water. If it's too pale for you, you can add more pigment with less water. This is pure manganese blue for a more vibrant sky color. Notice that I am dabbing my brush lightly on the paper and not dragging it harshly. It's because I want to mimic the cloudy sky from the reference photo. But all good if I can't copy that exactly. To paint the center of the flower, actually this is the back side of the flower, I'll paint in yellow first before adding another layer of green later. For the shadow color of the petals, I mixed brown and blue to achieve this light gray mixture. Use the reference photo as a guide for the shadows, but don't get too stressed on painting the same exact shadow shapes that you see. Our goal is to separate the petals from one another. If that yellow part is not yet dry, be careful not to touch it with the shadow color. The background is still damp too, so I'm avoiding touching that one. Now I'll try to lift some paint for the stems later. Mixing my Hooker's Green with Camboge Nova. I'll paint some blurred stems in the background with the wet on damp technique. Again, this was filmed at night, so the paper is drying slower than usual. So if yours has already dried by now, you have two options. One is to paint the stems directly with wet on dry technique. Just make sure that they are lighter so they will sort of blend with the background. And two, you could re-wet the bottom part, wait for it to dry a bit, and do the wet on damp technique as I am doing right now. This is your painting, so I'll leave you to decide. I trust you. With darker green mixture, I'll define the center of the flower. For some random cloud shapes, I'll also grab a paper towel, crumple it a bit, and lift some paint. You can only do this while the paper is still damp. But again, if it has already dried, then let it dry completely. We can just re-wet it later, add another layer of sky color, and do the lifting method with a paper towel. My paper has dried completely now, and it's time to lift some hard edges. I'm using a flat synthetic brush, lifting some background color that got into my flowers too. If you don't have a flat brush, you can try a round brush instead. Final step would be adding those stems and darkening the sky color. If you can, I challenge you to paint the stems in one stroke. This requires confidence though. You may practice on a separate paper if you need to. Adding darker colors on some parts to create contrast. There's no need to paint all of the stems that we see in the reference image. Just make sure to connect the main flowers that we painted so that they won't look like they're floating. I noticed that the sky is lighter to my liking, so I'll re-wet the upper part of the painting and drop those sky colors again. Manganese blue and ultramarine blue. It is a standard sort of rule in landscape to make the upper part of your sky darker. So I'll do that. With the same lifting method, grab a paper towel and lift some random cloud shapes. Adding even darker colors for the stem, and we're done. If you're liking this video so far, please don't forget to boop that like button so that we can reach other watercolor lovers. Thank you so much in advance, and I'm looking forward to your paintings. Please use the link below to upload your beautiful artwork. Thanks and stay safe.